let me use 4 words, or 4 phrases. Number 1, violence disables the nation, and it will disable the nation even after elections. Violating people's rights is violating God. Remember, when the president came into power, he said the voice of the people is the voice of God. The violence against the people is the violence against God.
Hello gorgeous people, welcome to my channel. This is Uncensored with Rumbi. So guys, I want to say shout out to everyone and thank you guys so much for sticking around with me. And I want to say to everybody who are really passing through for the first time, shout out. And I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel, making sure that you turn on the notification button, because every time I drop a video you'll be notified immediately. And to my regulars, I want to say I love you, and you have such a special spot in my heart, and thank you for sticking around. It means a lot. And there are people that have been really sending out some love, like very beautiful comments. I want to say to you, I love you so much. It means a lot. Stick around, we're gonna have some fun. But today is really not a great day for me. It's a very somber day, and I'm going to tell you why. You know, I remember when we were growing up, my auntie was trying hard to really explain to us what happened during the Gukurahundi time. You know, she was narrating a lot of gruesome stuff there, but since I was young, so I could not really get the glimpse of what was going on. But when I listened to this video from the pastor, guys, my heart was completely tattered, because he said, you hear Gukurahundi, you hear people were killed, but you never really get the nitty-gritties of how devilish were the sins or the actions that were being done by the people during that time. So I want you guys to really listen to this. If you're not a strong person, I suggest that you don't listen to it. But you know what? I want you guys to listen to his narrative. Take a listen.
For that question, Debele, and thank you, Honorable Mliswa, first of all, for raising this matter in Parliament. That's greatly appreciated and applauded, you know, so that it becomes a national conversation in the august house of this land. Thank you so much. I can thank you a million times for that. But when I saw the video clips of Honorable Mliswa being ejected from Parliament for raising the issue of Gukurahundi, for me, 2 things came. Is it that the ruling party is confused on its position on this matter? Is it that the Honorable Speaker is against the President? Is it that there is a way that they want this thing done which is not known by members of Parliament and is not known by the people involved in dealing with Gukurahundi? And many questions will come. I can go on and on, but that was a surprise for me, to be honest with you. It was a great surprise of how could that be done, because the president, as you have already alluded to the fact that the president has mandated this to be a national conversation. He has launched the Chiefs Council, National Chiefs Council, to deal with it, and they have already started the process. then why is Parliament perturbed by that? And it's really worrying, because it creates a sense that people will begin to think that the Chiefs process is then a sham. It's a PR process. It's a joke. It discredits the Chiefs process, which was sanctioned and mandated by the head of state, and that is worrying. But well, such are peace issues, you know. You'll always have what we call in peace building spoilers, those who will disturb the process that is meant to bring peace and healing in the nation. But let me also underscore the point that it could also be an issue of ignorance. Honorable Mliswa and Ebele, how Gukurahundi happened, what actually happened. It could be an issue of ignorance. People can be hearing the word Gukurahundi people were killed in such part of the country, full stop. They don't have details. Because we are in this conversation, let me just give you in 2, 3, 4 things that women and girls were gang raped in the presence of their fathers, brothers, and husbands. Virgin girls had their private parts opened with a bayonet. While it's bleeding, they were raped. Women were forced to have sex with their own children, were forced to kill their babies. I know of a colleague whose sister was married in a polygamous marriage, and they were asked to put their babies in a traditional grinding wooden mat, what we call it, ingika. What's the English word for ingika? They were made to crush them. Yes, they were made to crush their babies. 2 babies were crushed in ingika. And do people think that is normal? If even anybody who is normal, how do you react to that? Women had their private parts in the burning firewood. Pregnant women were stripped of their bellies to kill the fetus because they believed the fetus is a child of a dissident. Thousands of women, men were forced into grass-thatched houses, grass-thatched huts, and they were burnt to death. Boys were killed. Their fathers were killed. They were forced to watch their mothers and sisters being raped. Men killed, thrown in disused mines, and men disappeared, and some have not come back. Men were humiliated. Others had their private parts skinned and then cut off. And many other things that I can't mention, including children who were born out of rape. Their fathers are the soldiers that raped people. And these people suffer a shamed identity. And in essence, if I can even make it more complex, these guys by paternal birth are Shona, but a result of a rape, and many more. Let me leave the rest. The details are there. So if somebody would reject or object to such a conversation, I find it strange, if not weird. You know, and I'm like, what's really happening in this country? But we are a church, you know, a real and peaceful church will not avoid this. Sadly, the church is also divided like politicians. We've got others who are then defending and justifying such acts. I don't know what kind of demonic spirits are working in our land. But let's come to the church and the peace aspect, that we support the chief's process. If that can be known even by Parliament, Honorable Mliswa is here, that the church, the real church and the peaceful church will support the chief's process to bring peace and healing on the subject of Gukurahundi. We know there will be arguments on its authenticity, genuineness, and the rest, but it's a process that is going on. Let's support and see how far we go with that. Then we'll begin to deal with issues when we have challenges on that. Then the church will also call upon authorities, such as government, to remove all forms of intimidation, suppression, oppression, and ejecting people for raising critical national issues of national interest for that matter. We would also urge government to allow victims and survivors to speak freely. Honestly speaking, if they eject Honorable Mliswa from Parliament, how do you expect an old woman in Lupane, Silwane, in Cholocho, Mkonyani to speak about such issue if they can eject an honorable? You understand how it reverses the gains that we have already done under the new administration, that perhaps this issue can now be dealt with. Allow victims to vent out their emotions and heal their memories. Allow the conversation on Gukurahundi, as it was opened by the president, not to stifle it. Let Parliament deal with it. Allow Parliament to come up with a policy that addresses issues of freedom about this matter.
Man, this is beyond words. It's beyond me. I'm sorry, but I'm becoming emotional. It's bigger than what I ever thought. Actually, it's bigger than that. I just want to send love and light and healing, because some people are wicked. That's all I'm going to say. I wonder why we keep having problems. Yes, it makes a lot of sense, because God may have scared the land, because whenever we do evil, we not expect good to come our way. And I think it's time we pray to God to come in and rescue us and just, free us from this curse, because it's too much. It's too much. But I would like you guys to listen to Temba Mliswa when he's talking about, the role of the church and how he feels disappointed with the church, like I am too. I just want you guys to take a listen, then we can talk further.
So that I challenge the church to participate in politics. God himself was a shrewd politician, was a shrewd businessman. He was in control of everything. And we don't want where violence is happening, they're quiet. They must be able to approach the head of state and say, for us to have credible elections, we must respect the people's rights. and be able to have a conducive environment. The church must do that. It's not good meeting the president and not having a caucus with him. The president belongs to the Methodist Church of Zimbabwe, which I belong to. There's nothing wrong in getting them to have a meeting, to arrange a meeting with all churches there, and they talk to him, the bishops, they talk to him that we're going towards elections. We cannot have blood spilling. We can't have people being abusive and threatening and violent, and all that. The church is powerful. The church must ask political leaders to say, you're under God. And while you're under God, will not support any leader who does anything which is ungodly. Why don't they say that? So that we don't have the Gukurahundi happening. They must prevent this. Prevention is better than cure. That's my message to the Reverend in the church.
All right, guys, this is quite sad. I agree. I think the church should play such a huge role. There's one thing that I also realize, guys, maybe I'm the only person, but for those that are spiritual can even attest to this. Some of the people we see in the church are actually not even spiritual. They don't have a clue of how God works. They love to be in the church. They love to run around. They love to be part and parcel of the group or fellowship, but they don't really understand how he operates. So if people understood well how God operates, this could have been resolved a long time ago, because the church was going to approach the leadership and really find ways to pray and ask God for forgiveness. And then cleansing was supposed to be done. It's spiritual cleansing, really, so that at least we can restart. You know what I mean? But when that is not done, then it's a problem. Unfortunately, we are young, so we may not have much to say. But I wish I was one of those pastors and that are really being seen at the forefront. I could have really taken a step and sit down with the leadership and say, let's find ways to bring calm and in the nation and really restart our journey. Because truth be spoken, guys, wrong was done. Yeah, but it's not worth it. We can't carry on. For some reason, we need to really come together and say, let's bring peace among our people. Because this is shocking. Guys, I know, it's too much. The church's role is disappointing in the church, especially now. I'm extremely disappointed with the church personally. I don't know you, but I know not everybody, but a majority. Because we expect you to take up steps and really do what's right. Since God is on your side, since you understand how he works, since you are the mouthpiece of the people, you're a mouthpiece of God, surely you should know better. Pastors, prophets, teachers, evangelists, you are the mouthpiece of God. So your word carry weight because someone is backing you. But when that is lacking, then people are going to question, what is the church really? You know what I'm saying?
Let me use 4 words, 4 phrases. Number 1, violence disables the nation, and it will disable the nation even after elections. Violating people's rights is violating God. Remember, when the president came into power, he said the voice of the people is the voice of God. The violence against the people is the violence against God. We need to revisit the church's call for a Sabbath. Remember, we called the nation for a Sabbath, where we said, let's put aside the elections. Let's have a national dialogue. Let's deal with our problems. We have done one thing over and over again, and we are expecting different results, and it's not going to be. Let's have a national dialogue. Then let's have peace pledges should elections come, if they are definitely coming, because the dates are set. Let's have a peace pledge from political parties. And I will indeed engage with other colleagues here to say how best can we deal with peace pledges to make sure that politicians pledge that they will be very peaceful during this election. And any political persuasion that is anti-peace must be, people must not vote for such a party. Peace be with the people of Zimbabwe, and peace be with you all. I thank you.
Tell me what you think in the comment section below. But I know it's a brutal stuff, and I want to send love and light, and I pray for healing. I'm going to pray every day of my life just to make sure that everyone receives the healing that they need, and this restoration of peace again. I love you guys. May God bless you all. Bye for now.